folks, welcome to another virtual Pilates class. Today we're going to use a roller and a mat. So we'll do a roller and a band. We always use a mat. So roller and a band, so grab your band, have your band near you within arm's reach. If you don't have a band, a long towel would replicate, potentially an old pair of leggings, something like that. If you do have a band, take a moment just to check the edges of your band, make sure there's no tears in them that you're going to hurt yourself with, and then just pop your band on the floor near your mat somewhere that you can reach it. We will kick off on our rollers, so roll yourself out. If you haven't done that, feel free to pause the video and jump back in when you have. We're going to start lying on top of our rollers, head at one end, hips at the other end. As you're getting yourself up there, just check your alignment, particularly your lower limb alignment, so your legs. So we want feet straight, we want knees in line with second toe roughly, and then knees in line with hip bone. Going down onto your roller, you're going to end up with your head down on the other end, and then you're going to check your alignment down there for me. So thinking head, neck and shoulder alignment, we want a nice little gap between your chin and your chest, and that should take your gaze straight to the ceiling. Arms, we're going to drop them into goalposts for a little bit. So arms are down by your side, palms facing to the ceiling. Lovely, beautiful stretch to the front of your chest. We spend a lot of time in flexion in our days, so it's lovely to just open up through the chest and get that lovely stretch. Of course, if you prefer to do this off of your roller, that is perfectly fine. Feel free to lie on the mat and do this section of the class on the mat. No issues at all. And if you change your mind, you're on your roller now and you want to hop off in a minute, just hop off. Everything can be done on the mat as well. Alright, so nice big deep breaths, lengthening through that neck, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. We want to let as much air into our lungs as we can, and then we want to let all of that air out. So big deep breath in through your nose and out through mouth. So you're going to keep breathing like that for me, using your full lung capacity. So big breaths, but still gentle breaths. So filling those lungs up with air, and then slowly draining all the air out of your lungs that you can. We're going to do 2 more breaths. Big deep breath in. Exhale to let all that air out. And 1 more breath pattern. Big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. I'm going to bring your hands, we're going to place them on one hand on the base of the rib cage and the other hand on your belly. We're going to do some diaphragmatic breathing, and we're going to warm up the abdominal wall. So you're going to breathe with your bellies. You're going to breathe in. You're going to feel your belly lifting up underneath your hand. You're going to breathe out. Then you feel that belly dropping down. Breathing in, the belly lifts. Breathing out, the belly drops. So you can keep breathing like that for me. You're warming up the muscles that make up your abdominal wall. And your internal organs are getting a nice little massage as they get pushed around by the diaphragm. Diaphragm and pelvic floor work together in conjunction with each other. So pelvic floor lifts and lowers. And just creating movement within your body using your breath. 2 more breath patterns. Big deep breath in. Feel the belly lift. Breathe out. Feel the belly drop back down. And 1 more big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And bring your arms down by your side. You're going to reach your fingers right down towards your toes so your arms are nice and long. We're going to stay on our rollers for our arm arcs. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to bring both arms straight to the ceiling. Keep your shoulders broad and wide for me, and then lower them all the way down. So let's go again. Inhale first, exhale, float those nice long arms to the ceiling, and bring them down. We're going to do 2 more like that. We're just starting to pattern the body and the brain. You're nice and stable on your roller, floating your arms to the ceiling, and then bring them down. 1 to go. Inhale first, exhale, float those arms to the ceiling, and bring them down. Okay, now we're going to go into scissors, and we're going to work our way into windmills. Both arms to the ceiling and pause. One arm up by your ear, the other one down by your side. Bring your arms back to the ceiling and change them over. So you're going to scissor forwards and backwards. Arms stay long and they stay straight. Think about what's happening with your rib cage. We want your ribs nice and still. Front ribs are funneled down towards the pelvis. Back ribs are staying connected to the roller. Nice big deep breaths. That breath pattern is always designed to assist you to do the movement. Nice long arms. We're going to do one more in each direction. Inhale, exhale, change them through the center. Got one to go. Inhale, exhale through. Okay, let's turn them into windmills. So bring both arms to the ceiling and pause. Let's take our right arm above our head, our left arm down by our side, and then circle your arms around and bring them back to the ceiling. So you're going to keep going in that direction. If you're like me, you might have a few lumps and bumps through those shoulder blades. Work through them. Breathe. Arms stay long, arms stay straight. Work within the range that's comfortable for you. Don't forget about your rib to hip connection. Stable on your roller. Of course, if you prefer to be on the mat, you could be on your mat. Nothing is ever compulsory. Listen to your bodies for me, team. When you get to the top, we're going to change the direction. So pause up here. Left arm above your head, right arm down by your side. Circle around and back to the ceiling. Keep your breathing going. Inhale, exhale. Arms are long. Cores gently engaged. We're never jamming anything on. We've got 10 to 15% engagement of our abdominal muscles. You should be nice and still on your roller. Okay, you've got one more. One arm up, one arm down, circle them around. When you get to the ceiling, pause, and then float both arms down and bring them down by your side. We're going to come off of our rollers. So you gently roll to one side, grab your roller with your hand, gently push it out to the side, and lie flat down on your back. You should feel amazing. Right, knees are bent, feet are hip width distance apart. Double check that alignment. Arms are down by your side. Let's turn our palms to the ceiling. Feet are firm on the mat. You can feel even weight distribution across your feet. We're going to warm your lower backs up with some pelvic tilts. You're going to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to gently tip your pelvis backwards and let your spine flatten into the mat. Then you're going to roll your pelvis forwards and you feel your back arch on up off of the mat. Gentle roll backwards, spine opens and flattens into the mat. Roll the pelvis forwards and the back arches. Exhaling as you roll the pelvis backwards. Inhaling as you roll the pelvis forwards. Knees are still. Try not to let them sway in the wind. Head will move. Chin will pop in towards your chest. Chin will pop up towards the ceiling. That's cool. Let it move. Nice long breaths to match your movement. One more each way. Gentle tilt back. Spine opens and flattens into the mat. Roll the pelvis forwards at the back arch. And then rest in neutral. Swiveling from your wrist, turn your palms down for me. Gently engage your arms into your mat. Gentle engagement, nothing's ever jammed on. Feet are firm across, even weight distribution across those feet. We're going to move into bridges. Going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, your pelvis will roll backwards, your spine will imprint, and then you're lifting up off of the mat, coming up into a nice straight line. Pause at the top here. Take a breath in. Breathe out to come all the way down. Hips are nice and stable. Try not to sway from side to side. And roll your pelvis through neutral. Inhaling first. As you exhale and go up into your bridge, feet are firm. Peeling up one vertebrae at a time. Pause at the top, take a breath in, and then slowly down. Think of sending your knees out towards your second toe. Work your way through each vertebrae one at a time, and then roll that pelvis through neutral. Moving in your own time, arms gently engaged into your mat. Nothing's jammed on, but it's going to help you switch your back muscles on. Opening up through the front of the hips, ribs staying funneled down towards your pelvis still. Try not to let them flare up towards the ceiling. And as you're peeling up and down, you're trying not to let your hips sway too much from side to side. You're still standing firmly in those feet of yours. And as you go up and down, you're lengthening through the front of your knees, opening through the hips, and then maintaining those knees tracking out in line with your second toe as much as you possibly can. Let's do one more. Inhale first, gentle tilt back, spine imprints, float up into your bridge position. Pause, take a breath in, and then use that breath to allow yourself to peel down. Each vertebrae comes down one at a time, and your pelvis rolls through neutral. Pause there. Tummy muscles still gently engaged. Float one leg to 90 degrees and hold it. Take a breath in, second leg comes up to join it. Spine here is in neutral, shins are horizontal to the ceiling, femur arcs to me. Slowly lower one foot down towards the mat, keep your spine nice and still, and then bring it back up. Alternate sides in your own time. So just little gentle toe taps. The movement here comes from your hip bone, not from your knee. Your legs should stay at a right angle. If as you lower your foot down you feel your back wanting to arch up off of the mat, then just go to the range that you can maintain your neutral spine. So that might be part way for you today. Might be 3/4. Tomorrow that might well be different. Listen to your body. It always sends you messages for a reason. 2 more on each side. Lowering that foot down. Bringing it up with control. Try not to let those hips grip too much. Think about the movement coming from your stomach muscles. Nice long breaths. Last one. Pause at the top. Lower one leg down to rest. Lower your other leg down to rest. Drop both of your knees to the left-hand side of your mat. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. Arms could be a little bit wider onto the mat if you like. Hang here for me. Take some nice big deep breaths. Lovely stretch to the lower back at the front of the hips. Little lengthening through the neck while your head's turned to that one side. Tummy muscles switched on. Gentle engagement. Pull the knees through the centre. Drop them to the right hand side. Take your gaze over your opposite shoulder. How does this side feel compared to the other? Is it the same, or is one side a little bit tighter, one side a little bit different to the other? Breathe into that tightness. See if you can relax and let a little go, a little bit more. Let the muscles open up. Okay, let's repeat it. Squeeze your knees through the middle. Legs go back to the left, gaze goes over the right shoulder. Should feel a little bit more comfortable the second time around. Breathe, get your breath pattern going. Remember, breath facilitates movement. We see that with our breathing at the very beginning of each class. Last one to the other side, pulling the legs through the centre. Take the gaze over the opposite shoulder. And breathe. Nice big deep breaths. One more breath pattern. Pull your legs back into the centre. Reach over and grab your band that is hopefully not too far away from you. We're going to do some leg circles with our bands. So let's put the left foot up into the band first. So as much as possible, make that band flat across the bottom of your foot. You're going to hold on to one strap in each hand. Elbows are down on the mat, so not too wide or high. Tuck them down on the mat, adjust the tension on the band as need be. Stretch your right leg out on the floor and pull your toes to your nose. So you've flexed your right foot. Nice and relaxed through shoulders. Shoulders are touching the mat. Shoulders are going to stay touching the mat. Coming across the body first. Inhale for me as you go across. Exhale as you swing that leg out to the side and back up to the top. So you should have an inhale breath and an exhale breath for each circle. Breathing in as you go across. Exhale around. Ready to go again. Inhale. Exhale. Now your right leg is not moving. It is glued onto the mat. It is stable and it is still. Those shoulders of yours are still touching your mat. So try not to let them lift. Your circles are round. Nice and round. Circles are flowing smoothly. Ball and socket joint in your hip is just rolling around. Let's change the direction. When you get to the top, go the other way. Inhale as you take the leg out, exhale around and back up to the top. Nice big deep breaths, let them flow. Adjust the tension of the band if you need. Shoulders staying connected to the mat. So your torso should not be rocking and rolling around. You want it nice and still. Gauging down through that right leg will assist to keep that right side nice and still. Nice big deep breaths. Let's do one more circle here. When you get to the top, we're going to do a hamstring stretch. So legs straight to the ceiling. You don't have to have a huge amount of tension on your band for the stretches. If you can't feel it, you can bring your foot closer towards your face more. You'll feel it then. If it bothers your knee, bend your knee a bit. If all you're feeling is your calf, I want you to point your toes to the ceiling and you'll get more hamstring. Nice big deep breaths. Keep your foot in the band. Put both straps of your band into your right hand. Put your left hand out on the floor, wider than your mat for some stability, and then take your leg across your body. Lovely big stretch through your hip. Big deep breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Bring your leg back to the ceiling. Now hold them with your left hand. Go out to inner thigh stretch. Right arm can go out on the floor a little bit wider than your mat. Closer that foot is to your face, the more intense that will be. We don't want it to be super intense, but we do want it to be effective. Okay, one more breath pattern. Bring your leg back to the ceiling. For the moment, untangle your foot. Hold onto your band with your hands. Stretch your legs out long and straight. Feel the difference between the left-hand side of your body and the right-hand side of your body. For starters, your leg should feel longer, if in fact it isn't actually longer. Front of your thigh should feel flatter on your left side. Now your lower back. Take a moment to think about that. Your lower back on your left-hand side should be touching the mat more than your right. So your right side is still slightly compressed, your left side has lengthened down. Should feel better, should feel good. Okay, let's tuck the right foot into the band. It's good to just allow the body and the brain to talk to each other for those few moments. Just might help your muscles to go, you know what, it does feel better relaxed instead of too tight. So foot's in the band, foot's flat, so band is flat on the foot. Left leg's out long, toes to your nose, and start your circles when you're ready. Inhaling as your leg goes across your body, exhaling as you take your circle around and back up to the top. Shoulders stay on the mat. We're trying not to wobble around. Keeping our left leg grounded. I've got some super glue, and I run super glue down the back of your left leg and it's stuck on the mat. It's not moving. Breath is helping you to move. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Working within the range of the circle that is best for your body today. They don't need to be super big to be effective. Big is good, but if you want to make it smaller, that's cool, make it smaller. Okay, let's change direction. Leg goes out to the side, around and up, let them flow. You've got some tension on the band, but you're not feeling like you're hanging on for dear life. Elbows stay connected to the mat. Neck and shoulders nice and relaxed. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. Nice, smooth, fluid, round circles. And that one breath pattern of an inhale and exhale for every circle. Okay, let's do one more. When you get to the top, pause. Okay, hamstring stretch to begin with. So gently pull that foot towards your face. Soften the knee if you like. If you want more hamstring, point your toes to the ceiling. If you're feeling a bit too much calf, try not to hold your breath. Put both of your bands into your left hand. Put your right hand out on the floor next to you. Take your foot across your body. Closer that foot comes to your face, the more intense that stretch will be. Try not to roll off of your mat. Should feel it in your right hip. Big deep breaths. Bring your right leg back to the ceiling. Place those bands into your right hand. Allow your leg to go out towards the side. Nice big deep inner thigh stretch. Big deep breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. One more breath pattern. Bring your leg back to the ceiling. Untangle your foot from the band. Put the band on the floor next to you, somewhere you can reach it. Stretch your legs out long and straight and feel that lovely length that you created through your lower back and your hips. Alright, bend your knees, have your feet hip width distance apart from me. Take your hands and interlace them behind your head. Ring finger, little finger on the base of the skull, elbows nice and wide. Knees and feet are hip width distance apart, feet are staying firm on the mat. Coming into some nice little chest lifts, you're going to take a breath in, you're going to breathe out to lift your head, neck and shoulders up, you're going to look down to the middle of your thighs, and then you're going to lower yourself all the way down. So you're going to inhale breath first, exhale to lift, gaze to the middle of your thighs, and then lower down. As you come up, your elbows are nice and wide. You're trying to touch your elbows on the opposite sides of the room. Those elbows are just so that you can see them in your peripheral vision. Gaze is important. Where your eyes go, your body will go. So as you come up into your chest lifts, I want you looking directly down to the middle of your thighs. That'll help you get that height. You should feel your shoulder blades just lifting up off of the mat. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. You're going to do 2 more. Inhale first, exhale, up you come. Lower all the way down. And last one, inhale, exhale, up you come. Lower all the way down. Pause here. Take your hands from behind your head, reach over and grab your band. Hold your band directly, with stretch across both hands and directly above your shoulders. Sorry, that was a very poor cue. Okay, so it's resting in the crease between your thumb and your index finger. Right, we're going to add our band to our chest lift. So gentle pull out on the band, not so much that you've got a lot of tension on your band, but you have engaged it. You're going to take a breath in, you're going to breathe out to lift your head, neck and shoulders up. That band comes down to touch your thighs and then bring it back towards the ceiling. Breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. Gaze down to the middle of the thighs still, nice broad shoulders, the band is going to help that. And bring it all the way down. A little bit of tension, helps you switch your back muscles on, up you come. And then lower all the way down. I'm going to do 1 more. Inhale first, exhale, up you come. Lower down. We're going to add a bit of choreography. We're going to mess with brains. Float one leg to tabletop and hold it there. Take a breath in, breathe the other leg up to join it. Go back to those femur arcs that we did in the beginning. We're going to add a femur arc to the chest lift with the band. Let's start with the left foot. So take a breath in as you breathe out, head, neck and shoulders lift. Left toe goes down towards the mat. Bring your arms tucked back to the ceiling, head back down to the mat. Change sides. Inhale, exhale. Toe comes down, arms come down, band touches your knee, and bring it back. Feel free to go back to hands behind your head if you choose. That's perfectly fine. You can drop it back down. Feel free to put your legs back down on the mat. You can choose the level that you want to go to. You've still got a bit of tension in that band. As you come up, your gaze is still following that line down to the middle of your thighs. There is no tension in your head, neck and shoulders. We're going to do 1 more on each side. Breathe in first, breathe out. Toe tap down to the mat, gaze to the thighs. And last one for me. Inhale, exhale, up you come. Pause. Lower one leg down and rest. Lower your other leg down and rest. Take your band, drop it out to the side. Slide your legs out along the mat. Bring your arms right over the top of your head. Open up through those palms, open up through those shoulders, point those toes away from you, and breathe. Float your arms to the ceiling and bring them down by your side. I'm going to use our band for our clamps, so you can leave the band out or you can use the band. I'm just going to sit up while I show you what I want you to do. So you're going to take your band and you're going to fold it in half, okay? You're going to wriggle yourself into your clam position, and then you're going to slide that band around your legs. So instead of tying it in a knot, this is an easier way to get out of it. So I've got the folded bit that I'm going to thread through underneath my legs. I'm going to wriggle down on my side, and I'm going to take the strap of my bands, and I'm going to push them through to the other side. So I've threaded them through, and then I'm going to hold on to that band. So instead of tying it, it just gives you the ability to get yourself in and out of this a little easier and quicker. All right, so the amount of tension you put on that band is up to you. You're not going to need much tension on the band to make it effective. Feet are tucked back behind you, knees are just slightly in front, head's resting on your arms, chin's up off of your chest. Keeping your feet touching, lift your top knee up off of your bottom knee, and then lower it down. So we're going to do a couple of different sets here. At any point, you can untangle yourself out of the band, just get rid of it and go on without it. It will still be effective. Gently opening and closing. A little bit of tension, you can add more if you want, but you don't need a heap of tension on the band to make it effective. Nice big deep breaths, breathing in through your nose still, breathing out through your mouth. You haven't got that much tension that you feel like you're cutting the circulation off in your legs. Okay, you got 2 to go. Open and close. And last one. Good. Okay. Knees stay touching, lift the top foot up and then lower the top foot down. Lift the top foot up and lower the top foot down. Lift and lower. So a little bit of hip rotation. Lift and lower. 4 to go. Lift, lower. 3, 2, and last one, little lift and lower. Just let go of your band and just untangle it a bit. So you've taken the tension out. Your band's still lying underneath you, you can leave it there. Hand down in front if you like, or on top of your hip, you can choose. Your hip is nice and stacked, you've got the little gap between your waistline. Lift your whole leg up, your leg stays bent. Glide that leg forwards towards your chest, not too far that you feel your pelvis moving, and then take the leg backwards behind you, but not too far that you feel the pelvis moving. Inhale as you bring your leg forwards, and exhale as you take it backwards. So our pelvis is still, our hip joint is pivoting, our breath is helping us to do that movement. Gliding forwards and gliding backwards. You can picture in your mind what's going on. Ball and socket joint in your hip rolls forwards. Ball and socket hip rolls backwards. And it's flowing. It's a nice smooth movement. We've got 2 to go. Glide it forwards. Glide it backwards. Last one. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. When you get back into the center, lower the leg down, tap the hip out a bit, give it a bit of rub, should feel your glutes have worked. Carefully up, swing around to the other side, bring your theraband with you. So we have the folded section of the band that we tuck underneath our knees. Come down into your clam position. Take those bands and slide them through the folded section, and then a gentle pull through to the other side and hold on with your hand. Again, you can leave the band out of it, you can choose. Head's resting in on your arm, chin's up off of your chest, bit of tension in the band, but you don't feel like the circulation is about to be cut off in your legs. Feet stay touching, lift the top leg up off of the bottom leg and then lower it down. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. Okay, it's human nature that you probably went to the easiest side first. I don't know why we do that, it's just human nature. My left side is my weaker side, so I really feel it. Nice big deep breaths, breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. Work with the tension that's best for you. It doesn't need to be super tight. It can, if you really want to work, you can pull that band tighter, just be careful that you don't cut the circulation off in your legs. So don't want to hurt yourself, obviously. Okay, let's do 2 more. Open, close, and last one. Good. Okay, still holding that band. Foot lifts, foot lowers. Foot lifts, foot lowers. Knees stay touching. Gentle lift, gentle lower. So we're rotating that hip. Nice big deep breaths. Not too much tension on your band. Don't need a lot to feel it. 2 to go. Lower. Last one. Good. Gently untangle yourself out of the band. Just leave the band on the floor underneath you, but just untangle yourself so you haven't got the band tensed around you. Hand on the mat, hand on the hip, you can choose. Still that nice straight alignment of your pelvis. Top leg lifts, keeping the leg bent. Bring the leg forwards. Take it backwards as far as you can. Pelvis stays still, work within that range. Inhale forwards, exhale backwards. Nice big deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. Watch the backwards range. Don't want the pelvis to tip backwards. Picture in your mind that ball and socket joint rolling forwards, rolling backwards. Nice big deep breaths. Remember, breath is always designed to help you move. Glide forwards, glide backwards, and last one. Inhale forwards, exhale back, lower the leg down, little tap out of the hip, little pat or rub, you can choose, but just give that glute a bit of love. Just reach down, slide that band out from underneath you and put it on the floor next to yourself. Then you're going to flip yourself onto your stomach. We're going to do our prone work. So you'll come forwards. Let's start in goal post position, and then I'm going to add on. You can choose where you want to go. So forearms are out on the floor, wider than your mat. Legs are engaged, slightly together. Forehead is resting or hovering on the mat. Shoulders away from your ears, so shoulders back and down. Stomach muscles are gently engaged. Nice long neck. Going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to lift your face and lift your chest just gently up off of the mat for me. And then lower yourself all the way down. Breathing in first, breathe out to come up just to the base of those ribs, not too high for me. And then lower all the way down. As you're coming up, take a little note of how much pressure you're putting in your arms. We want it to be minimal. We want your back muscles to be lifting you up. Breath is always designed to help you to move. And lower. Okay, let's do 2 more. Then we're going to change the hand position a bit. Gentle lift and lower. You've got 1 to go. Lift and lower. Pause there. Take your hands and slide them in line with your shoulders. Now, if goalpost is more comfortable for you, feel free to stay there. Elbows are tucked into your waistline, so try not to let them flare out. Tuck them in. Little grasshopper wings for me. Okay, we're going to add on. Take a breath in, breathe out to come up to the base of those ribs, and then just to the height, a little bit higher up to where is comfortable for your body. And then peel yourself all the way down. Now, we often do this in goalpost, so if you prefer to do it in goalpost, feel free. Otherwise, stick with your hands tucked in by your side. Breathe in, breathe out to come up. You don't want to bring tension into that lower back. So work within the range that's good for you. You don't need to come up to straight arms. Just find the space that's good for you today. Lengthen through the crown of your head as you come up, moving into little swans. And then all the way down. Once you get past your rib cage in the little swans, and you may not be there today, you do need to push into your hands, all right? And you want to feel length through your body. And then you're going to peel yourself all the way down. So we're not worried about the height. We want long bodies. As you come up, work to the range that's good for you. We don't want any jamming in that lower back. If you're feeling the tightness in your lower back being created, then I want you to change the range. Go to where it's comfortable. Breathe out to come up and all the way down. Do 1 more. Inhale first, shoulders away from the ears. Up you come to the point that's best for your body today, and then slowly down. We're going to go into little child's pose stretch. So you're going to take your hips back towards your heels, arms in front. We'll sink back of the hips to the heels. A little bit of a gap between the knees if you like. Breathing into the back of your ribs. Nice big deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. 2 more breaths. Inhaling. Exhale. Last one. Coming back down on your stomach. This time you're going to prop yourself up on your elbows. So, on your elbows, one hand resting on the other, gaze out in front of you. So you should be looking about another hand pace and a half away. Little lift through the hips. So as opposed to letting your stomach drop down onto the mat, little lift. It might not mean your stomach lifts, but you've got that engagement. Single leg kick. Bend one knee, lift the knee slightly up off of the mat. Flex the foot, pulse it to your bottom twice. Lengthen your leg out long, the knee is still elevated, and lower down. Change sides. Bend the knee is slightly off of the mat, the foot is flexed, pulse twice. Lengthen the leg out long, poke the toe, and lower the leg down. So as your foot comes towards you, your foot is flexed. As you stretch your leg out long, your toes point away from you. The knees just slightly elevated up off of the mat. Hamstring and glute should be working. Alright, so you should feel your back of your legs working. Think about those glutes particularly. So one side might feel a little bit more engaged than the other. Again, my left is my weaker one. So my hamstring likes to do all the work on my left. As my right side, I can feel my butt clicking on. Little lift of that knee, Body's still. 2 more on each side. Foot comes to bottom, pulse twice, lengthen that leg and lower. Keep that gaze out in front of you, shoulders nice and relaxed. 1 more on each side. Last one here. Out and down. Come up onto all fours. We're going to go into a cat and cow stretch. So hands underneath shoulders, so you're in your quadruped position. Drop your arms, drop your head down between your arms, arch your back right up towards the ceiling for me. Now allow your stomach to come down towards the mat and take your gaze out in front of you across the room and drop your chest forwards. So head hangs, arch your back right up towards the ceiling and open up through your spine. Tummy comes down towards the mat, chest gently pulling forward through your arms. 2, 1 more each way. Head drops down, arch your back right up towards the ceiling for me. And then last one, tummy comes down, gaze goes out in front of you. Pause in the center. Find the weight distribution through your little fingers. Make sure you can lift your thumbs up off of the mat. Little gap between your knees. You want a nice base of support. Broad and strong across the shoulders. Arms. Slide one arm along the mat, lift it out in front of you. Bring your fingertips to the mat and glide it underneath. Alternate. Arm slides out, lifts up, fingertips down and back. Breathing. Exhale. And down. Working with the range that's best for your body. We want our body still, just moving our limbs. One side again may well be different to the other. Nice big deep breaths as you go. Okay, let's move with your legs. Hands stay on the mat. Maintaining those broad shoulders. Spine stays in neutral. Slide your toes along the mat. Lift your leg up to hip height if you can. Put your toes back to the mat and slide it underneath. Changing sides. Toes glide out. Leg lifts. Toes come down. Leg glides underneath. Gap stays between your knees. Body is still. You are just moving your limbs. Work within the range that's best for you. Big deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Okay, we're going to go straight into opposite arm and leg. Inhale first. Exhale, out you go. Float those arms and legs up for me. Touch them back to the mat and glide them underneath. Changing sides. Slide them out. Lift them up. Bring them down. Maintain the control as you return them down. So try not to lose it on the way back down. So the focus is the same on the way out and the way down. Last one here. Opposite arm and leg glide out. Lift them up and bring them down. Wiggle forwards right to the end of your mat. We're going to go into a glute stretch. Both of your feet, if you can tuck them to the left hand side of your mat first. Pick up your left foot, put it in the middle of your mat. Slide your left foot down the mat and come onto your forearms. And then wriggle that foot back a bit further and sink into that hip stretch. I'm just going to have a sip of water while we do that. Big deep breaths. The closer that your right foot is towards your chest, the more intense that stretch will be. Again, it doesn't need to be intense for it to be effective. One more breath. Okay, untangle yourself out of it. Let's change sides. Both legs to the right. Right foot picks up, put it in the middle of the mat. Slide it down onto your forearms. Wriggling that foot back further if you want, sinking into that hip. Big deep breaths. Breathing in and out. One more. Okay, carefully pulling yourself out of that. We're going to tuck you into a mermaid and we're going to use our rollers again. So grab your roller, put it on, let's do the right hand side of your mat. Have your right leg bent in front and your left leg tucked behind. So you could, if your hips feel tight and you feel like you're sort of struggling to sit in your mermaid, you can slide something underneath your right hip to prop you up. So that it'll basically bring your pelvis onto the horizontal. Or leg stretch out, either is fine. Could be the other leg as well. Hands just resting on your roller and you're sitting up nice and tall. You've lifted your ribs right up off of your hips, so you've got a nice little gap between your ribs and your hips, and your shoulders are away from your ears. You're looking across your room, and you're looking at something, and you're going to keep your eyes on that same spot. Your left arm floats out to the side, and your palm is up. You're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to roll your roller away from you, and you're going to reach your left arm right across the top of your head. Your hip stays grounded on the mat, and then bring it all the way back. So try not to sink into that right wrist. Inhale first, exhale, over you go. Think of lifting your left rib cage up to the ceiling, and then bring it back. Shoulders stay relaxed. You're still looking at your spot across the room, and as much as possible, you are grounding your hip onto the mat. So you don't want to let your butt lift if you can. If your hip starts to lift, you're starting to move into the lateral flexion by lifting your hip as opposed to stretching your side. Breathe out as you go over. That will assist you to do the stretch. 2 to go. Inhale first, exhale, over you go. Reach, 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 and back you come. Last one. Breathing in, breathe out to go over. Big reach through that side. Oh, beautiful. And back you come. Pause for a second. Feel how different your left side feels compared to your right side. Grab your roller, put it on the other side of your mat. Flip your feet around. Left leg's tucked in front now. Again, you could prop something underneath your left hip to bring your pelvis on the square if you feel like you're sort of struggling. One leg tuck out in front, the other leg could tuck behind. Left hand's resting on your roller, sitting up tall. Again, find your spot across the room. Right arm is out with your palm to the ceiling. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to go over. Lovely lateral stretch all the way down through your side, and then back you come. Inhale first, exhale, over you go. Gaze across the room. Open up through that right hand side. Think of lifting your right rib cage up to the ceiling as you go over. So lift and lift and lift and lift. Not putting too much pressure and weight into that left arm or wrist as you roll away with your roller. Still looking at your spot. Keep your eyes on it. That'll stop you from curling forwards. Your body will try and find a way to cheat. It will cheat by allowing you to curl forwards. You're literally sitting in between 2 panes of glass, one in front of you, one behind you. Last one. Over you go. Back you come. Pause. Stand your roller upright. Now, of course, your roller doesn't need to be part of this if you don't want it to be. Turn yourself around to sit in front of your roller. We're going to do twist. So, yes, you're sitting in front of the roller, but don't touch it. Give yourself a bit of a gap. You can choose the gap, but it can't be 20 centimetres. It's meant to give you feedback. Right, so bringing it close to you, doesn't need to touch you, have a bit of a gap. Sit up tall, legs out long, flex your feet, straight out to the side. If you prefer, you could have them across your chest or even on top of your shoulders. Long arms. Okay, let's go to the left first. Take a breath in, breathe out. Twist yourself around towards the left. Come through the center, twist to the right. Today I want your gaze to follow your hand. So as you twist, swap your gaze to each hand. That arm is long. Reach and reach and reach. Make it as long as you can. Exhale. Legs are still. Try not to let them move. Sitting tall. Rollers staying upright. If you've knocked it over, don't worry about it. Nice big deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more each way. Gaze follows the hands. Feet are nice and stable. Legs are glued down to the mat. Okay, you got 1 more each way. Gently twist. You're going to finish on your right hand side. Through the center. When you get back to the middle, lower your arms down. Give your shoulders a roll. Roll them one way. Roll them the other way. Reach back. Grab the roller. Tuck it out of the way. Grab your back. If you're not already there, wiggle yourself down so that your feet are towards the end of your mat. We're going to do some part roll up and downs with our band. We're going to add them to full ones so you need enough room behind you to lie right down. Band. flat band around the bottom of your feet. Bit of tension you can add on. You can take it off, but start with just a bit of tension. Sitting up nice and tall. First of all, bring your chin to your chest. And then as you exhale, your body's going to go, let's just go part way. Pause there. Breathe in. Breathe out to come back up. You can add more tension if you want more help. You can decrease the tension if you want less help. Chin to chest. Scoop of the belly. Round. Pause. Breathe in. Breathe out to come back up. Sit up tall when you get to the top. 2 more like that. Warm the spine up for me. Chin to chest. Scoop the belly. Shoulders are relaxed. And then come all the way back up. Last one. Inhale, exhale. Come back up. Okay, we're going all the way down. Change the tension on your band to suit. Breathe in. Breathe out. Chin to chest. Bit by bit you feel each vertebrae in your spine going all the way down. Let your head come right down. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, your chin comes to chest. Long breath out. Roll back up. Sit up nice and tall. You could choose to go back to the halfway mark if you want. Otherwise, scoop of the belly. Picture in your mind. Each vertebrae in your spine goes onto your mat one by one. Nice smooth movement. Head ends up down. Inhale first. Chin to chest. Look towards those toes. Breathe out. If you don't breathe out, you won't get up. You'll get stuck. So make sure you breathe. On the way down, make sure you breathe out through that sticky bit. So that bit that you feel like you're sort of struggling to get each vertebrae down, make sure you breathe through that. Pause. Inhale first. Exhale up you come. Brent Anderson, the founder of Pilates, Polestar Pilates, will make you sing. He might make you sing row, row, row your boat, or he might make you sing counting. 1 to 9, 1 to 10, and then backwards. When you're singing, you have to breathe. Inhale, exhale. So he might make you sing like this. I don't want you to sing. You can sing in your mind. So he might go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the way up it might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Might only go to 8. But the point is, it'll be 4 and 5 when you get stuck. 1 more each way. Sing in your mind if you want. Breathe. There's 4 and 5. All the way down. Last one. Inhale first. Exhale up you come. And then rest. Untangle your feet out of your band. Scoot your butt forwards further to the end of the mat. I've been in a session with Brent where he did that, and he suggested if we didn't sing, he would make us do a solo, so we all sung. Roll like a ball. Lift your feet up off of the mat and find the balance on your sit bones. That may be the place where you're happy today. That is fine. Otherwise, gaze towards your pelvis. Little scoop of the belly backwards. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Hands crossed over or hands just on the shins. It's entirely up to you. Watch you're not flicking with your feet. First one never counts. Inhale to roll yourself back. Exhale to roll back up. Balance at the top. Inhaling back. Exhaling up. Nice smooth roll like a balls. Keep your gaze towards your pelvis. Keep that little scoop of your belly. Nice smooth rounded spines. Little roll back up. Shoulders stay relaxed. You've got 3 to go for me. Feel free to just balance if you want. Up you come. Inhale back, nice and quiet. Exhale up. Last one. Inhale back. Exhale up. Pause at the top. Stretch your legs out long and straight. Arms on the horizontal. We're going to roll down fully. We're going to go into some book openings. Down you go bit by bit. Arms going over the top of your head. Circle your arms around. Bring them down by your side. You're going to roll onto your side. Wriggle yourself around so you're comfortably back in the centre of your mat if you've moved a bit. Cradle your head in on your arm. Knees are bent. Feet are tucked back in line with your hips. Chin's up over your chest. If you prefer to have a little pillow underneath your head, that's fine. Otherwise, arm could even be straight. It's entirely up to you. Top arms out on the floor in front of you. but your chin is up off of your chest, so don't curl yourself forwards like you're ready to have a nap. Knees are glued together. We'll start with 2 to the ceiling and then we'll add on. Take a breath in, breathe out to bring your arm to the ceiling. Let your gaze follow your hand, and then bring your hand back down to the floor. Inhale first, exhale, arm comes to the ceiling, gaze follows the hand, and then bring the hand to the floor. Okay, we're going to move into rotation. Arm comes to the ceiling, rotating further back, knees are squeezed together. Lengthen that long arm to the ceiling and bring it back to the floor. Hips are still. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Gaze follows the hand. Knees are staying touching and squeezed together. Your arm is long, and then bring it all the way home. And the next one, think about what's happening with your shoulder blade. Your shoulder blade glides into the middle of your spine. You're opening up through the front of your chest. You're rotating through the top part of your body, but the bottom part of your body is still. And then bring it home. We're going to do 2 more. Breathing in first, breathe out to go all the way back. Nice long breath. Bring it home. And the last one, we're going to hang out there. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Go to that point where you just cannot get any further without your knees slipping apart, and then allow your knees to slip apart. Let's see if you can get that a bit further. My roller's in the way. And breathe. Inhale, exhale. Okay, squeeze your knees together, your stomach muscles are switched on. Lengthen that long arm to the ceiling and bring it all the way home. We're going to change sides. Swing yourself around, careful as you do so. Doesn't need to be rushed. Don't want you to get dizzy. Down on your side, cradling your head. Knees are bent, feet are tucked behind you, so you don't want them too far forwards. Head, neck and shoulder alignment. Top arms on the floor in front of you. Knees are gently squeezed together. 2 to the ceiling first. Take a breath in, breathe out to float your arm to the ceiling. Let your gaze follow your hand, and then bring your hand back down to the floor. Inhale first, exhale, arm comes to the ceiling, gaze follows the hand, down to the floor. Okay, moving on into your rotation. Arm comes to the ceiling, rotate further back, knees are squeezed together. Lengthen that long arm to the ceiling and back to the floor. We're going to go again. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Breathe out. Nice long arm, knees are not moving. Lengthen to the ceiling and back to the floor. Okay, think about that shoulder blade. As your arm goes to the ceiling and you move into your rotation, that shoulder blade glides into the middle of your spine. Your arm is long, you're rotating through that torso. Lengthen to the ceiling, back to the floor. 2 to go. Knees are still gently squeezed together. Arm to the ceiling. Keep the knees and the hips still. Rotate back. Nice long arm. Bring it back to the ceiling and back to the floor. And then the last one, we're going to hang out there. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Long arm, rotate, go to the point where you can't go any further, and then just let those knees glide apart. See if that arm comes furthest to the floor. And nice big deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Okay, tummy muscles engaged. Re-engage those knees together. Lengthen to the ceiling and back to the floor. Bring your hand in front, put it on the mat, and a gentle push up to a sitting position. You're going to sit for a minute and make sure you don't feel dizzy. We're going to come up to standing. We're going to stand with our feet hip width distance apart. We're going to stand nice and tall. We're going to roll up and down. Arms are nice and relaxed. You're beautiful and open through that chest after your book openings. Weight distribution through your feet is 60-40. 60 in the front, 40 through the heels. Breath in. Gentle tuck of the chin to the chest. Down you go. Long breath all the way out. Arms are hanging like they belong to a rag doll. Pause there. Breathe in. Lead with the tailbone. Scoop your abdominals up. Tummy muscles are helping you bring your spine up bit by bit. Come to stand tall. Check you don't feel dizzy. Take a breath in. Tuck your chin to your chest. Down you go. Long breath out.
Each vertebrae in your spine peels down one at a time. You've got 60-40% weight distribution. You feel just slightly like you might topple forwards and do a somersault. Slowly up. Breathe out. Shoulders stay nice and relaxed. And each one of these, you're going to double check you're not dizzy. Inhale first. Exhale, down you go. One long breath out all the way down if you possibly can. If you run out of air, make sure you take another breath. At the bottom, pause. Inhale, lead with the tailbone. Scoop the tummy muscles in. Roll back up. You're trying to roll your spine up and down. Shoulders stay nice and relaxed and away from your ears. You've got 2 to go. Inhale first. Tuck that chin to the chest. Down you go. Exhale, 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 exhale. Pause. Breathe in. Lead with the tailbone. Scoop the belly. Slowly up. Stand tall. Lucky last. Breath in. Tuck the chin to the chest. Down you go. Long breath out. We're going to hang out down there for a second. Alright, arms. Let them circle. Circle them around. They're just hanging out of the shoulder sockets. Go the other way. Eyes are staying open for me. Okay, one more circle. Relax the arms. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Come all the way up. Bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. Stand tall. Check how you feel. Breathe in. Breathe out to come onto your tippy toes. Take your arms out towards the side. Float your arms right up towards the ceiling. Reach as high as you can. Open through the palms. Stretch the fingers. Lower your heels as slowly as you can. If you struggle to do that, your calves are a little too tight. Inhale first. Exhale, up you come. Reach, 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 reach. Open through the palms. We forget to stretch our palms. Lengthen those arms. Make them as long as you can. Strong arms like you're pushing them through water. 1 to go. Inhale first. Onto the tippy toes. Arms go out to the side. Reach and reach and reach and reach and reach and reach and reach. And then slowly lower the heels and down. Once you're down, you're going to roll your shoulders. You're going to roll them twice in each direction. Take them the other way. You're going to keep your shoulders away from your ears for the rest of your day. You're going to enjoy that class, team. As always, I'm never far away. Feel free to email or text me any queries or concerns you have. But enjoy. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye now.